Hello everybody, Jake here, and welcome back to our Wolfsburg Football Manager series. My God, have we got an interesting episode for you guys today. I mentioned our transfer window wasn't quite over when you last saw us. It really wasn't. We spent another 50 odd million pounds. We let go of some key players from last year, and the players that we brought in are pure Football Manager bliss class. I love them all. I genuinely think we've absolutely smashed it in the transfer market this year. So let's get right into it, shall we? Run the intro and let's go and have a look at some of these amazing players that we have signed. Hello everybody, Jake here. Welcome to the series. Welcome to episode 2 of season 2 of Wolfsburg Warriors, our Football Manager series, where we try and win the Champions League with Wolfsburg. Now, you last saw us in the first match of our Bundesliga season after our transfer window, where the likes of Karim Adeyemi had joined us, and our squad was looking quite mean and quite ready to go for the new Bundesliga season. But it's got a lot better. It's got a lot better. We've signed 2 absolutely class players. We had to let a couple of players go. We also had one of our young players go on loan, who I think has got a great season ahead of him. And I think we've just maybe got a massive improvement to our squad. I don't know what else to say other than you're going to be very impressed when you see the signings that we've brought in. But before we get into all of that and before we get into the video, I'd just like to ask you guys, if you could, and it really would mean a lot, because you don't understand how much it helps these videos in pushing them out to as many people as possible, then smash that like button. It really does help so much. Comment down below anything, whether it's about Football Manager, about the save, about the transfers that we make, or if you just want to help, let me know where you most want to go on holiday. I don't know, anything like that. Just something to help the YouTube algorithm. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're getting close to 6,000 subscribers. Anyone who's watching the series at this point, a few episodes in, 5+ episodes in now, you may as well subscribe. You're here for the long run anyway. Why not do it and ring that notification bell if you haven't already? Check out the Discord in the description. There's a join button next to the subscribe button that you can check out if you want to. That's everything. I think we're done. I think we're done with all the plugging, and we're ready to get into this big episode. Now, before I do show you the transfers that we made, I'm going to make a little admission to you all. You might notice that in the last episode, we beat Frankfurt, 6-1 at home to start the season, and it now says we beat them 2-0. Basically, we finished that Frankfurt match, I clicked stop record, I was like, right, brilliant recording session, let's save the game, transfer it over to my PC, and let's carry on so we can get up to this point. Finished the recording session, pressed save, and then quit, and then realised I hadn't pressed save. I had not pressed save, so when it came up to say, do you want to save yes or no, I clicked the wrong one. I lost that 6-1 game. Luckily, we had a save point just before I started recording the video, so we only missed out on that game and that game only. So what I had to then do was replay the match. Instead of winning 6-1 and Karim Adeyemi getting like 4 goals already and being on 10 goals for the season straight away, we ended up winning 2-0 instead. Yusuf Amin scored though, and Federico Di Marco getting a goal. Now, Federico Di Marco did actually get injured in that game on camera, and he didn't get injured in this one, so he's actually now fit. Feels a bit cheaty, but I really didn't mean it. I didn't mean for that to happen. And I suppose you counteract the fact that we got an injury by the fact that instead of winning 6-1, we only won 2-0, and then that doesn't build the momentum as much, I would have imagined. But we have been playing very well this season since then. Before I show you the transfers, we'll run through our form. So we beat Hamburg 2-0 away in the Bundesliga. Jeremy Boga scoring twice there. We then beat Grara Firth 6-1 in the Bundesliga. Kozlowski scoring twice there, which was nice to see. We then lost to Bayern Munich 4-3 in an absolute cracker of a match. It was at the Allianz Arena though, so I can't complain too much that we lost to Bayern away. I think over the course of the season, we'll hopefully bridge the gap, and we've got to be effective against the teams around us and keep trying to win. And we've pretty much been doing that. DeMarco getting us the winner against Augsburg. He's been a great pickup so far. We beat Hoffenheim 4-1 with Adeyemi getting 4 goals there away, which was another great result. We drew against Mainz 2-2, Adeyemi getting both the goals there. Then we beat Schalke 2-0 with Piccoli and McNulty getting the goals. And then we beat Hertha Berlin 1-0 with Arnold getting a late winner. I am just going to quickly show you this 6-1 against Grara Firth, because I believe this was the match where Kozlowski scored 2 free kicks, and they weren't just free kicks, they were free kicks, like very good goals from Kozlowski. It was the best game he's had in a Wolfsburg shirt, so I quickly will show you the goals from it. I will just need to slow it down a second, so bear with. So there's Kozlowski's first one, that went quite quick, that wasn't a good one. He then hit this about 5 minutes later. What an absolute goal that was from Kozlowski. Ended up meaning that we won the game by plenty of goals. It was the most goals we scored for a long time, and our team was doing very well. But I still felt that we lacked something, and in the transfer window, I did mention in the last episode that we had still 30-40 million pounds in the bank, and I did intend to spend it. I was ready to spend it. I was just waiting for the right player to come through, seeing how the squad lined up in the first few games of the season. And I did decide that I thought the defence was solid. We've got enough players in the defence to cover positions now. I was happy with it. Goalkeeper position is fine. We've got Casteels at the age of 30 playing well, and we're slowly going to breed through our youngster, our channel member name, Kenneth Wynn, who will eventually take over that slot once Casteels is done. I have no intention of buying another goalkeeper. Midfield, if you're talking about the central midfield areas and the base midfield, we had enough options. I shouldn't have spent any more there, so I decided not to. But up front and in the attacking midfield role, I still felt that we could do a little something. So currently we had Boga and Amin playing in the attacking midfield role. Then up front we had Weghorst, Piccoli in the target forward area, and then Nemecha and Adeyemi as our advanced forwards. I always felt like Nemecha wasn't going to be around long term, and when deadline day came about, and we got a scout report back basically to say, have you ever thought about this guy, Benjamin Sesko? And I thought to myself, he would be very good. We've just signed Adeyemi from Salzburg. Could we then bring in Sesko for however much he's worth and see if he's worth a good player in our team? So I checked the scout report and I saw he's 6'4". Weghorst is getting on in age. Maybe Sesko can be the actual out-and-out striker for us in the future in that target forward role to play alongside Adeyemi. I don't think he's going to be currently ready for that spot, but I thought, you know what? Let's bring him in. Why not on deadline day? So we spent 15 million of our £40 million budget, pretty much with the idea that if we didn't get him now, Sesko would eventually be worth that kind of money in the future, and we wouldn't be able to get a hold of him because we wouldn't be a big enough club to be able to attract him. If someone like Man U comes in for him in a year or so, which they would have done, we wouldn't have been able to get him. So I'm very happy that we bought Sesko in. But that did mean that Lucas Nemecha left the club for £9.25 million to Stuttgart. It was a slight loss on the club's end, but I still think it was worthwhile business. I think it makes sense. I'm happy with it. Pretty much one in, one out. Sesko's a few years younger, a lot more potential, so he came in. So after Sesko came in, I thought transfer business done, we're sorted, the team's ready, but there was still that little bit of the attacking midfield role where I was kind of wishing we could have someone extra. Now, I always did have in mind I'd like to keep a German core in this squad, or at least have some of our key players be German. Adeyemi, being one of the best German youngsters in our team, is great. Baku is a great option in midfield and defence. He's German and he's going to go a long way with us. Kenneth Wynn is the best goalkeeper that's came out of Germany so far in the saves, so he's currently the best young German goalkeeper in the world. And then I thought, you know what, it'd be great to have a good German midfielder. We had budget left over, and I saw that Florian Wirtz was available in the attacking midfield role from potential rivals Bayer Leverkusen. He's got tons of potential. He was available for, it was about £40 million, so it's a lot of money for Wolfsburg standards. It was more money than they paid for anyone really before, but I figured at 19 years of age, this guy's only going to get better. If we bring him in, he can be a star player for us for a long, long time in that attacking midfield role. If we can have like 4 or 5 very good German players in this Wolfsburg team, I'd be very happy with that. And I think Florian Wirtz is definitely going to be that player. He only came in on deadline day a few hours before the end of the deadline, so I haven't been able to see him in action yet. But he has came to the club. I'm excited to see Florian Wirtz in action, and I think he's going to be top draw for us. So we spent another £40 million on him. Now that meant that we had Boga, Amin and Florian Wirtz in the attacking midfield position. So we did decide to let Yusuf Amin go on loan to Mainz, who actually, for a player that we paid a couple £100,000 for when we first signed him, he was looking very good for us every time he played. I really like him. And then Mainz came in and said we'd make him an important player, which is quite a crucial fact because Mainz are not a bad team in the Bundesliga at all. If we do go to the season preview, Mainz are expected to challenge for European spots. And they're saying that one of their most important players was our reserve 18-year-old, 19-year-old Yusuf Amin. So I thought, you know what, we'll let Amin go. He can develop into a top-tier player over there. And I think he's going to do wonders for them. And I hope he has a great season, comes back, and he can back up Wirtz in that position. I think will be great. And this is actually the first time that I've looked at the best 11 in the league kind of thing. Nice to see we've got a player on there in Adeyemi, who is apparently the third best player in the league behind Kimmich and Haaland. So we've got a great talent on our hands there. Baku as well, up there as well. Lewandowski is apparently not considered one of the better players in the league. Kimmich and Muller considered better than him. Gvardiol is someone that we're looking at potentially buying. I think we've made a very nice team for us here. We're actually predicted to be the second best team in the league. And that pretty much leads us on to this. And today, I forgot to even mention it, what you're seeing today. You're seeing a Champions League match, guys. You have a Champions League group stage match. Obviously, we're doing great in the Bundesliga, close to the top of the league. But we did get drawn in. You might consider it a Champions League group of death if the 4th place team was a little bit better. Trabzonspor, I'm hoping the fact that they're there means that we can maybe get 6 points no matter what in this group. That'll give us a strong position of potentially going through if we can just snatch a few other points off PSG and Juve, who are 2 amazing teams, two teams that we're probably going to struggle against in this group stage. But what I'm thinking is, with PSG there, likely we won't get any points off them. But Juventus, if we can beat them at home, we then stand a good chance of going through into the knockouts. And of course, in a series where we're trying to win the Champions League, this is very important. And today's match is actually Juventus at home. So it's one of the ones I consider a game that we should win, or not should win, but a game we must win, really. If we want to be in with a chance of pushing far in the Champions League this year, this is the kind of game that we need to win. So a team that I've picked for this is this. We've got Castells in goal. He has been awesome for us at the back, and our defence consists of Baku at right back, who is now considered a 4.5-star player. He's a great option, Ridelli is. Absolutely loving him. Great player. He's versatile as well, can play in that midfield, but I love him at right back. So he's playing there today alongside Lacroix, Beneu, who has interest from Real Madrid, and that almost happened on deadline day. There was lots of rumours coming up saying they might buy him, but I chose to just let it happen, wait to see if anything came in, and nothing did. If it did, I had options ready to come in, but for now, Beneu stays at the club. If he does eventually decide to join Real Madrid, we are going to command a high fee for Beneu. If we have a look, around £50 million. I wouldn't say no to that if they came in for it, but I hope we can keep hold of him. DeMarco is slightly unfit, so we've gone for Julian Aud at the back. You'll see him for the first time really now. He is the young Argentinian that we signed for £5 million from Lanús. He's done a good job when he's appeared so far, no complaints, so he starts with a midfield of Grealish, Cook, Arnold, Wirtz, Weghorst and Adeyemi up top. We've got Sesko on the bench, we've got Botman on the bench, Boga, Piccoli, Vrank, Shagler, Paslak. This team is looking very good, and that's not including players like Gerhardt, DeMarco, Garcia McNulty, Gilavogi, Kenneth Wynn in our side. So I think we've got a great squad here. I think we could beat Juventus. I'm holding out faith. The only thing that I'm kind of worried about is that this midfield isn't exactly tried and tested, I suppose is the way to say it. And now that I'm looking at it, I am considering bringing Baku into the midfield and maybe putting Paslak at right back. No, you know what? I'm going to stick with this for now. Actually, no. What would Baku look like in there? Yeah, no, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it as it is. I'm hoping we can get a win against Juventus. So with that being said, let's hop right into the match, and hopefully Adeyemi can carry us to another win, because it's pretty much all him this year. Please, Adeyemi, help us out. Just to mention as well, I said Florian Wirtz has only played like 1 or 2 times. That's the same with Sesko. Sesko's only really had 1 start, and it was a struggle of a match really, where we won 1-0 or something away. It took an Arnold goal to win. So haven't really been able to see the best of him yet. I don't think he's going to be as effective in that target forward role. But it's just how the system plays. He's got to fit into it at 6'4" with good aerial ability. I would hope that eventually one day he could play there, and if he develops enough, maybe we'll consider changing the tactic around a little bit once Weghorst is old. But I could never drop Weghorst at his age now, because he is so effective for us. And apparently my highlights are still on super quick, so I'll slow that down a little bit. And we are underway straight away in this game, and it is Juventus right from the off in the black kit. 1 minute in, they're having a bit of a ball, and that is slightly too slow, so I'm going to speed it up one more. There we go, that's a bit better. Here is Chiesa. Baku deals with it well, but no, he doesn't. Maybe I made the wrong decision playing him at right back there. If he was in midfield, that might not have happened. That was as simple as anything from Baku. It looked like the ball was just there to be kicked away. It was almost one of them football manager mistakes, really, as opposed to him making a mistake, like an animation glitch. Because he's just stepped over the ball, and it's just an easy crossing for Chiesa. Kulevski at the back post heads it in. We're 1-0 down after 1 minute. And to start our Champions League campaign, that is definitely not what we wanted. Because like I say, this is one of the few chances, I think, where we'll be able to potentially get a win against one of the other teams that isn't Trabzonspor. So we need to up our game a little bit. I'll just set that up so you can see Juventus' team. And 11 minutes in, we do have a potential chance of a highlight. Could it be a goal for us to level it up early, and then we can just have a straight match where we're both at 1-1? It's Weghorst with a goal, but it hasn't came up yet. Think it's going to get disallowed, but I kind of thought he was onside. It wasn't a bad cross at all, to be honest. I didn't think from Lewis Cook. I think that might be okay. And it didn't even say what it was, but I hope that we've got the goal. Here's Baku. He plays it in. To Lewis Cook, sorry. He didn't play it in. Cook did. Weghorst did exactly what we wanted from him. Looking at it, it did look offside, so did we get the goal or not? I think it's about to show us the lines, actually. I think that means he's on. I think someone is playing him on at the front post for them. And that is 1-1. Weghorst has got the goal. It's counted. That's great news for us. That means that, you know, everything's kind of leveled up. We can forget about that early goal from Juve. Oh, I say that. That is terrible. Castells came out. It was caught in the middle of nowhere. De Ligt could just volley it into the back of the goal. I saw nothing wrong with that. it's been awarded, and the fact that that was onside just goes to show how terrible that was from Casteels. He came out to pick it up and the ball was already at the back post already. He was still in the middle of the box. Two very close offside goals side by side there. 17 minutes in and it's 2-1. At least you can't say this was a boring match. It's quite an intense one actually. And both teams are coming out fighting, looking for a win here. I will demand more because I'm not happy with this at all. We're not usually so bad defensively. And it looks like we're struggling to go at them because Adeyemi's not having the best of games. Our chance came through pretty much out of nothing from Weghorst. I'm not liking this performance so far. I'd rather it have been 0-0. Saying that, if we make it 2-2 now, I won't be complaining. Here's Locatelli, Ruben Neves. He plays over the top to Chiesa. Chiesa's in. It's a good save from Castile. It was a very good save one-on-one. That's fair play to him there. I'll let him off for the early mistake now. But I will just take half-time here, I think, because I need to change something up. Not happy one bit with that. You know what? I'm going to have to adjust the tactics a little bit. Not the tactics, but at least the players on the pitch. I think I'm going to be brave here and keep Adeyemi on despite a bad game. When we do have a likes of Sesko on the bench who could score, I think I'm going to keep Adeyemi on the pitch for now. Florian Wirtz, though. Could we take him off for Boga? Do we let Grealish probably come off? Cook there. Maybe get Shagler on in that area. Save you the substitution for later, maybe. Try and bring Sesko on towards the end of the game. Julian Old, the youngster, isn't having the best of games, but then neither is any of the defenders, so that's not the worst thing in the world. I tell you what I will actually do. Not Shagler. We're going to bring Baku up and bring Paslak on at the back. So 2 substitutions made. Hopefully that can make some kind of difference, and we'll save what might be our super weapon in Sesko for a little bit later. Adeyemi not having the best of games yet, though, purely because I haven't seen him. He's one of them players where if he doesn't score a goal, I feel like something's up because he scores so regularly. But I'm going to put that into attacking now. Demand a little bit more and just see if that does anything, because it seems like this second half, Juve are just coming out to stifle us. We're very much struggling in this match. Juve have been very, very good, to be fair. I just want to see one more highlight. I want to see us do one more thing. And the Football Manager gods have answered my prayer because we do have the ball, and it's Lewis Cook at the base of the midfield to Lacroix. It's a good ball forward, but it kind of gets intercepted just before it goes through. But we do win it back with Paslak. Weghorst. Lacroix again is going to try the long ball up. It goes to Paslak, who is a very good crosser in these areas if we can just get him into a crossing position. Weghorst again. Comes back into the middle. We do play a vertical tiki-taka, so this is to be expected. And that's great from Arnold. Baku's through. He scores. Baku scores from the midfield role. It's a good job. It's a good job. Tactical management from me, from putting him in the midfield. But if I just made the decision at the beginning of the game, not only might he have scored, but maybe we wouldn't have conceded that first goal from his mistake. It's a great finish from him. I actually didn't have too much confidence he was going to score, but very happy with that from Baku. And that's now 2-2. That's way better than losing. And Adeyemi, after a pretty poor game, is going to come off for Benjamin Sesko. Just goes to show you, having these players isn't game breaking. They don't always get you the win straight away. But I do hope that we can get one more highlight. I'll risk it. I'll roll the dice, even if it might be a Juve one. Give me one more highlight, Football Manager gods. Please, anything. Are we done here? Are we just going to take a 2-2 draw? Looks like we are, which I'm not overly happy with, to be honest. Juve are, of course, a good team. I just feel like at home we could have beat them. Right, well, we start off our Champions League campaign with 1 point. That makes it interesting. Hopefully Trabzonspor can pull something off against Juve at 1 point and take the points off them. But I think our job will just be to match whatever Juve do and take it all the way. That's what I'd expect anyway. Also, just something a little bit extra, our under-19s at Wolfsburg won the double last year, the German Cup and the German League. And they also got near the end of the UEFA Youth League as well, the Champions League equivalent. So very happy with the under-19s and how they're developing. But I don't know, is that a good result? I feel like it might not be. I feel like it might be as well. I suppose only time will tell really, but transfers were good. The game maybe not so much, but at least it was a 2-2 entertaining match for you all. And we do have a tricky fixture next with PSG away from home. If we get something off PSG, who knows what could happen then. But that will be the end of today's episode, guys, so I hope you have enjoyed it. If you had, smash the like button. It really does mean a lot if you do so. I'll probably bring it back for our last Champions League group game, home against PSG. That might mean a lot when we eventually get there, and I think that could be a good game. Gives us a bit of time to settle in and see how some of these new players do. Because as you can see, they're not always performing to maximum level, particularly Florian Wirtz has started 3 games in a row now, and I don't think he's hit any more than a 6.6. So I need to make sure he's playing to the best he can, and maybe one day he'll be a star player for us. But anyway, I'll shut up. Have a great day, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.